Ding. I'll start it out like this.
Hey, Travis. My name is Lon. I'm the chaplain of the LA org, and I'm taking up your case. I know you had some upset 15 years ago. Looks like you were on staff with Noros. It was not good. So I wanted to get in calm with you, and you can give me a call back. That'd be great. My number is 323-953-3200, and that's for the chaplain. Okay, thanks, boy. Hey, Travis. My name is Lon. I'm the chaplain of the LA org, and I'm taking up your case. I know you had some upset 15 years ago. Looks like you were on staff with Noros. It was not good. So I wanted to get in calm.
No, you had some upset 15 years ago. Well, shit, it must have been a hell of an upset. Oh, man. It's Monday, October 2nd. Good morning. It's Monday, October 2nd. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Good morning. Who else can I see? I can't see, but there's three. Yeah, good. Thank you. Well, thanks for following up 15 years later. Oh, man. No, what that was about was me making videos, and they wanted Travis and his wife to go and talk a bunch of shit about me, probably on camera with the yeah, happy Monday. I mean, I got a doctor's appointment. Go check my spine and back out. And mi famille, le cousin, et John Lafleur d'eau is c'est passé à cette la maison, coming to visit me at my house. And we're going to talk about some pretty righteous stuff. All right. Still have like 200 videos to go through, but like that's just my stuff. And yesterday we did this thing where we played catch up. So I might find a short video here to watch and then keep catching up, because when I say catch up, I mean I don't mean the condiment. I mean I want to catch up on all of the SPTV. Is it impossible? No, it's not. It's just going to take, time. But I really do. I really do want to catch up on everybody's stories. At least like their initial story. Nora, shit, baby. I'm looking in the files here for something that we're looking for, something that's not too long but not too short, not too salty but not too sweet. Amy, yes, this is that email. Listen, let me play that again for you. that was a video. It's all creative processing stuff. Well, see, oh God. Okay. Um, 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 um. Y'all are getting me early. Well, I mean, it's not early. Normally I get up early, but I was up late with, I was chatting with Sinfully Good and Machmir. Machmir. I gotta say it all at one time. Okay. Machmir. Hold on. I need to see it. I need to see it. There we are. All right. Machmir Dokigal. No. Mach mir doch egal. Mach mir doch egal. I think I did it well. Um. Oh no. No, I have everything very organized, Amy. Super organized. I'm not even joking though. Uh Here's one that's 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Yes, that video that I played that you heard was a chaplain at LA. Well, that's what it's called, chaplain. It's probably well, the easiest way to do this is to just go because I have so many. Chap. Let's just look up chap. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Travis. My name is Lon. I'm the chaplain of LA org, and I'm taking up your case. I know you had some upset 15 years ago. Looks like you were on staff at Melrose. It was not good. So I wanted to get in calm with you, and if you can give me a call back, that'd be great. My number is 323-953-3200, and that's for the chaplain. Okay, thanks, boy.
Okay, thanks. Bye. So his name is Lon.
Hey, Travis. My name is Lon. I'm the chaplain of LA
He's the chaplain of the LA
org, and I'm taking up your case. I know you had some upset.
and the chaplain is picking up the case. Now, why would a chaplain pick up a case? Don't case supervisors pick up cases? That's squirreling. That's out ethics. That's out tech.
15 years ago. Looks like you were on staff at Melrose.
It looks like we were on staff at Melrose.
Was not good.
Was not good. Well, what is it reports that you got that states that it wasn't good?
So
Is it because started talking about it that what's not good?
I wanted
Is it because you were trying to get some gold people over there at LA Chapel to film my brother and my sister-in-law to tell them for them to possibly be paid to tell lies and some truths about how much of a piece of shit I am? That's what that was. Okay, so morning, John. John. Morning, Brian. Good morning, sir. Let's see here. Where was I at? Forgot. It was like 7 minute and 20-second video. Oh, these are music videos. No, no, no. Yeah. Dup, 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 dup. Grief charge. Humiliation. Already done that one. Yeah, we'll do this one. Belief. How I started to believe differently. Let's do this one.
Zenu. We're about to have band practice here.
Oh, I already did this one. Okay, that one's already in the deprogramming playlist. Oh Lord, how I made out. I already did that one. Virtual friends. This was 2017.
What's up, guys?
Right after my interview with Aaron.
I wanted to read a comment that Micha Dancing wrote. It's very insightful. And she's been a subscriber for many years. Or he, I'm not sure. I've always associated with a female because there's a
Morning
really
Blues.
interesting
Welcome.
female photo for her profile picture, for the profile picture. So it may be a man or a woman, I don't know.
Good evening, Blues.
Very insightful comment. And
I used to, I still do, but I used to too, like Mitch Hedgeberg. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. No, I get comments that, in the first 2 years, it's so validating. I'm sure a bunch of other former Scientologists, ex-Scientologists will attest. Would you like to attest? Your needle is floating. That would attest to the validation. When you the fear and the validation, the fear of speaking out, and then the validation of being heard. It's huge. And then occasionally you get a comment. I've gotten a comment on my first video that I ever did a couple years after that someone left staff. And you can't ask for a better comment than that. But I don't know if that's what this comment is, but let's check it out.
so here it goes. It says, this may be a long comment. Hope I don't cross your eyes in the process.
Fuck it. Let's
First,
do it.
I'm very happy to hear that the doctor was able to figure out what the problem was so you can do the proper steps to get better. Even if your nerves will never get better, you know what you need to do to relieve the pain and hopefully learn how to avoid overworking them to prevent pain starting. As for you going back and forth on this topic, what you're going through is 100% normal. Whether you go on with your plans or not, change your mind a million times. It's okay to do that. We, your subscribers, are not just here for your content. We're here for you.
Oh,
I believe I
bam.
can speak for everyone here when saying you're just a...
That one, that hits deep, We're not just here for your content. We're here for you. What does Juliana Bittencourt, the Scientologist, say? We're all in this together. Well, I learned that. I learned that everyone they weren't just there to see the dumpster fire. Sometimes I wonder if there's some people who would just want to, drive by and just grab somebody from off a step and be like, you're free now. But they know that wouldn't work. But when someone comes out and starts talking about their experiences, there's a whole nother, it's not a love bomb, it's just love. They're not love bombing. They're just supporting and loving. So these comments, are heartfelt and they're true.
Wonderful man and a delight to listen to.
Got a question here. Remind my blues. By the way, how did it feel to do the interview with Aaron? All right. Aaron contacted me through YouTube. I was just talking about this a little bit last night with Sinfully Good, and hold on. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna practice this till I get it. Max mir doch ego. Okay. otherwise known as Sophia. That's the short way, the simple cheater way to say it. Max mir dokigo. Uh, and yeah, in 2015 is when I put out the video. 2013 I finished my doubt, but it wasn't ready to come out and speak. You know, the uh, it's nerve wracking, you know, to make that decision, and it did. And then my wife left me, and with the kids, and didn't know where they were, and so a lot of my exit videos are tainted with the fear and the anxiety and the depression and the just uh, terror of not knowing where my kids were. So Aaron messages me and he says, "Hey man," and at the time it was growing up in Scientology. Mike Render, Marty Rathbun was still, you know, out and talking and writing. Uh, he wrote several books. He wrote The Tao of Scientology, which I never read. I wanted to, and I don't even know if it's available anymore. Good morning, Glitter. Good morning, Dawn. I have the chat fixed now. Yesterday, there was like almost 30 people in chat, and I didn't see a damn thing. I went over the comments at the end of the video. You know, I can respond live because the chat wasn't coming up on my YouTube chat, so I had to put another window up here that's the restream chat. Now I can see everything. So, if you have a comment or question, you don't have to put it in caps necessarily. But yeah, I can see it now. It's on my other screen there. Right, Joe. Aaron, okay, so there was growing up in Scientology, Mike Render, Marty Rathbun, there were some Debbie Cook things. There was the Tampa Bay Times article of Debbie Cook. That was 2012, I think, or 2013. And anything that what's his name? I'm spacing. There was about, I don't know, less than 10 like resources on like YouTube, and it wasn't streaming usually. It was videos like on Aaron's channel. I think the video that was the most popular at that time of his was Scientology and the Matrix, which is still my favorite of his videos. All right. ASL. Hey, it worked. Yeah, so the Matrix, Scientology, and Disconnection. 8 years ago. This sounds 2017. Let's do math. Early in the morning. Why not? Sorry for partying. Okay, so that was 6 years ago. He did this in 2013. No, September 6, 2015. It says this is 8 years ago, but I just did the math. Oh, no. I did it wrong. Yeah. So September 16th. Why did the dates matter? Well, because probably timing. There was no Leah Remini show yet. Mike and Marty were the like primary targets, and Aaron, they all had hate sites at that point, and those sites were being promoted within the church. Even the calculator won't help you when you get a whole pie. I don't know what that means. Blues. Anyways, this is a killer video. I'll drop that in the chat because it's really Aaron's best fucking work, in my humble opinion. And so yeah, he contacted me directly around this time, because this is where the interview happened. So when I was staying at my mom and stepdad's house when I tore my Achilles, and was recovering from surgery. I had a cancer surgery and I'd torn my Achilles. I needed a safe harbor, and I ran out of crypto to sell. But I had gone through the divorce. It was over, and I had my 50% custody, and I had a job at the post office, but I tore my Achilles, and the union didn't want to represent me. So I'm just sitting on my ass and getting all kinds of shit from my stepdad for being a lazy piece of shit. So that's why I eventually just left. Like, you know what, dude? I got to do what's healthy for me. I feel like I'm about to die, and I can't do anything. You know, it was really sick. It's like, I was in a wheelchair for 8 months and on crutches for 3 or 4 months, and used to walker when the crutches hurted. Well, anyways, like picking on a. It's like, come on, boy. It's like that chicken hawk. I say, boy, you a lazy one. You a lazy one. Hey, mach mir doch egal. I don't think I did it well enough, but if you rewind, I did it. Mach mir doch egal. Okay, so the interview with Aaron felt it was fine. He sent me an invite through YouTube, and so I didn't get it for a long time because I didn't know how the message system in YouTube worked. I was just clicking around randomly, and I saw a message from growing up in Scientology. It might still be there. I just don't know where the messages are. But I agreed to do the video and the interview just so long as it wasn't monetized. And he said, "Yep, no problem." So we did the interview. Now, we did the interview and he recorded it. So the interview is edited. It's not like we do interviews now where we broadcast them, and because that's so much easier. So for whatever reason, going live was more of a pain. StreamYard didn't exist, whatever. I mean, you could use OBS back then, but I don't think Aaron would have been able to figure that one out. It was, since he was Qual, there was this weird, immediate, like, Scientological connection. Like, he's Div 4. I'm going to do an interview with a former Div 4 terminal, and I'm a Div 6 terminal when I was there. So, but I'm blown, which means I've left, and I've, like I'm, if you've seen the interview, I've got a big grapefruit, and I was eating grapefruit because my body was so, like, deprived and sucked of any, like, good nutrients and, like, I don't know, tissues, or I could feel that my body wasn't doing well, and there's a diet I was on to help with that. I had stomach issues too, and so yeah, I was fine for the interview, but it was uncomfortable because of the location where I was doing it. Morning, Bach, buddy. Okay, yeah, you drive. You can listen and drive. You don't need to chat. Please, God, don't. I would be so upset if someone got hurt or killed listening to my freaking stupid ass talk on YouTube. It's not worth it. But yeah, for sure. Listen, it's podcastable. Um, yeah, Mind My Blues says grapefruit is an amazing choice for the immune system. Well done. I was also doing my own cabbage, well, sauerkraut. I would ferment the cabbage and drink this horrible stuff. But when I drank it, my body was like, "Oh, thank God, we needed some of that." Like, does anyone know what I'm talking about, or am I just crazy like that? Um, Sometimes there's foods that my body is like rewarding me with dopamine because I ate. So that was one of those foods. And in the interview, I'm playing with this grapefruit and I start to peel it and someone freaks out. They're like, "Oh my God, I thought you were playing with a ball and then you just started peeling it and it looked so freaking trippy." It was a grapefruit the whole time. Some people thought it was like a little stress ball and I started eating it. um, yeah, it's a pretty, pretty, like I think that he edited a lot of the stuff to be impactful, you know, like he took the moments that were most impactful of the interview because we sat on the Zoom call or Skype, whatever it was, for probably 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and because he'd have to start recording, stop recording, whatever. Little chit chat, you know, before and after, and yeah, because it was through Skype or Zoom. And anyways, yeah, he said something about watching my stuff, and he said you got a lot of good stuff up there. But at the time, it was called Wog World, right? And then later, uh, yeah. Anyways, later the interview was fine, I guess. You know, I mean, it is what it is. This was still during a time where I was, you know, I was going through a lot, like I said, with the cancer, the divorce, and Scientology, whatever.
We may or may not have been in your shoes with the Church of Scientology, but we can still connect our own experiences to yours. Doubts are perfectly natural reaction to what you've been through. Doubts are a natural reaction as a human being in anything we do in life. Doubt gives us the personal power to look at ourselves critically. If you never doubted yourself in any situation, you as a person would not actually grow mentally or emotionally. People who don't ever doubt are those who lie to themselves and create a false world around them.
So doubt and regret are very related. YOLO, no regrets, no regrets. There's so many tattoos of that, no regrets. I learned that from a book called The Power of Regret. Great book. I'll recommend it right now. The Power of Regret. How looking backwards moves us forward. It's a great book. Really, it's cheap too. By Daniel H. Pink. All right, everyone seems to be a #1 New York Times bestseller. I wonder who you just got to pay to get that title. Because it seems like every person that writes a book is a #1 New York Times bestseller. Do they go by the bookstores and like if you have a book in a certain store and someone buys it, it immediately makes it on the New York Times bestseller? Like it may be something silly like that. I don't freaking know. But the no regrets thing, is, like doubt and regret. Like in The Power of Regret, it explains how that's the power. Just like doubt. Doubt gives us the power to look back at ourselves. And how did this person say this? Because this was a commenter, probably maybe an author.
You as a person would not actually grow mentally or emotionally.
Yeah, so
Natural reaction to what you've been through.
Yeah.
Doubts are a natural reaction as a human being in anything we do in life. Doubt gives us the personal power to look at ourselves critically.
So replace the word doubt with regret. Same thing. Regret and doubt give us the power to look back, and whatever that person said and I just said.
If you never doubted yourself in any situation, you
or regretted,
as a person would not actually grow mentally or emotionally.
Well, that is pretty crazy, but like, yeah, if you don't have any regrets, then I highly recommend reading The Power of Regret. I walked by that book in the Jane Keller or Rose Keller library here, and I saw it, and I had an immediate like physical like ugh, and I'm like, oh, well, that means I probably ought to read it because I was resisting it. And that which you resist will persist. Um, that's something that Hubbard said, but it's not Hubbard. Stolen stuff, taking it back. I want to do something with Juliana. I want to do like shorts, like let's take this back from Scientology because it ain't Scientology. It's not Scientology. It ain't indie Scientology. It's something else completely that was stolen. And that which you resist will persist is one of those things. But, I have to source those things to make sure who said it. Anyways, that's something that I want to do with Juliana. I don't know if she's into it. It's the first time I've said anything about it. But there is a trick to getting on the list, on the New York Times list. Well, I bet there is, because I'm serious. Like, my friend Todd Elliott, he's a #1 New York Times bestseller. Okay, how?
People who don't ever doubt are those who lie to themselves and create a false world around them.
Create a false world around you. Like, no regrets. Well, then you have to frame all of the things that you really did do that you felt bad about as good or not bad or neutral. So you're framing yourself up in this this sort of non-reality.
Sound familiar? Isn't that what everyone does in that church? Doubt in that church.
The reality distortion field, as Mitch Brisker calls it, and I freaking love that. So you can create your own reality distortion field outside Scientology. Just have no regrets and no doubts.
Is a high crime.
Because you're going to have to figure out how to block those things, You're not necessarily an evil person for not having regrets, but you're definitely expending a lot of mental energy to block things.
Isn't it? Doubt gives you control of your own life. Never think for a moment something is wrong with you if you start doubting yourself. The fact that you have doubts means you are on the right path that is best for you. Not only best, but healthy as well. Now, I'm not saying you give in to those doubts each and every time. Remember, I said that doubts make you grow as a person. Looking at doubts honestly and critically, you can then decide whether your doubt was valid.
This is a comment on one of the videos I was in. It might have been Aaron's. It might have been a video that I did. I honestly don't remember.
Maybe something wasn't right in that situation, and your doubt was actually a warning. Or maybe your doubt, as you thought it was going to be, and you became a stronger person because you pushed through it. Perhaps even more enlightened by the whole experience. I became a subscriber a long time ago, not because you strictly spoke about your experience in Scientology, though that was the reason I clicked on that first video. But I felt a connection to you. I saw the past, the information, and saw you as a person. A fellow human being whose life didn't stop because your life changed. Your bravery has helped me become brave in some things in my own life.
This person's telling me my bravery helped them become okay. It's making me feel stuff.
It made me realize that even though the world wasn't what you thought it was, life can and will go on. There are unspoken things that you give the world through your videos, gifts to those seeking a like-minded person. I look forward each and every time I see you upload a new video. It doesn't matter if it's on the topic of Scientology or not. I get so happy just to see your face and hear your voice. You could talk about a run-in with a coupon lady at the supermarket who kept everyone waiting because she was fighting over 50 cents, and I would love every second of that video. Especially since I can sit there and say, yeah, me too. That happened to me once. Maybe I'll write about it in the comments to share my story.
This is the kind of interaction, Amy, it is rare to find such a well thought out comment in many places. And I don't mean to brag, because it's not bragging, it's the truth. Most of the people that were subscribers and that subscribe to my channel, aren't looking for the, give me my Scientology National Enquirer, hot mess, drama stuff. No, what I found was that the people that were interacting in the comment section and in the community with my videos were very intelligent, well thinking, well mannered, and considerate, kind, caring, supportive, compassionate, and and many of them quite articulate. So, yeah, that's rare. I'd say it's probably rarer now than it was then. How about that? It's rarer now than it was then.
Important thing is connection and you being yourself. That's why I wrote that other comment about you talking about possibly changing the style of your content to make it more YouTube friendly.
Oh, that's something that ain't changing. It's constantly changing that stuff. Make it YouTube friendly. Well, my stories and shit and everything that it's not YouTube friendly. I've got some other channels that are YouTube friendly. I can go and play video games. I can go and play music. I can go and show people how to do production stuff. And that's all YouTube friendly. And I can publish a radio show, which is YouTube friendly, except the fact that there's an automatic content ID flagging system, and there's no way for me to just send YouTube the licenses that I have to play the music. I have to deal with third parties. Other than that, that's a YouTube friendly channel. But this channel, I wouldn't say it's YouTube friendly. Because the things that we talk about, good morning, Juliana, yeah, I talked about you earlier. While you're here, I was talking about taking things back. And one of the things was that which you resist will persist. It's something that LRH quotes, but it is not LRH. And I want to do some little things where we just, we're going to take this back because it's not Scientology and it's not indie Scientology. It's just knowledge, okay? And we can take that shit back, and it's not Scientology anymore. So, good morning, Selma. All right. There's tons of stuff we can take back. Juliana? Mrs. Beatoncourt? Bon matin, et la Louisiane. Je dois un café. C'est bon. All right. Comme toi.
I was honest when I said for you to do what felt comfortable for you. Don't do things trying to make others happy or what you think others are expecting from you.
Well, I did that wrong for about 34 years.
You must do things that make you happy.
Yeah. Mach mir doch egal. Yes. It's not theirs. No. It was stolen. And Juliana says we can take it back. And yes, we need to take them back. The little things, short things, like, hey, by the way, that's not Scientology. That's this. And we can take that. And what's going to be left is going to be nothing but the nasty shit that we don't want. And maybe the indies can look at that, be like, oh yeah, that's Scientology. But wait a minute. That's not Scientology. We got indies protesting 4 days ago. They're tired of it too. There might be a coup going on inside. So, yeah, that's something that we should probably do relatively soon.
In the style and a way that best shares.
Need to catch them while they're coming out, while the fire's burning hot and they're running out, getting on their devices. And, oh, what the fuck?
Shares you with us or the world. This is your life, and we, the subscribers, are honored to know you, see you, and allowed to connect with you.
Amy says about the the comment I just made about it. Most of us do that wrong for a long time, trying to please other people. We focus on what other people need or want and forget that it's our own life. We need to be happy too. Yeah, no, that I didn't get that fucking memo. My happiness? No. It was all about everybody else since I was a kid. It's like, what do I need to do to make mommy happy? What do I need to do to make daddy happy? What do I need to do to make grandmother happy? What do I need to do to make this person I'm staying with happy? What do I need to do to make my girlfriend happy?
You are truly a gift and a pleasure. I think I will stop there before I get really too deep and too long to read. LOL. The song was wonderful and drew the attention of my oldest son.
Selma, I never do anything wrong. That's funny.
15, who was in the other room. He quietly walked in and listened. He said, and I will quote it, very beautiful.
By the way, like, the Discord is still, I'm in the studio here. Let me drop the link. Like, I have Discord piped in. If anyone ever wants to come in and chat during the streams, broadcasts, You're more than welcome to do so. But I have control over the fader, so I'll be, like, I'll pretty much be like, do you have anything to add? And then I can pull it back down. But whoever's in the studio can visit with each other, uh, and not worry about being on the air. So there's a link for that.
And I know how he feels. I hope I get that good playing the piano. We support you, and you support us.
This is still that one comment.
We're more than just subscribers and content creators. We're friends. We'll meet you dancing.
Tomicha Dancing. Probably the username changed. Some of these comments that I've tracked down over the years, I've had to look, just dig through the comments to find it, and then it's usually like a username change, some stuff like that. Like the one that said that they left staff. They said everything he says is true. I'm getting out now and I'm never coming back to staff. Holy crap, when I saw that, my throat, my stomach, whatever, the thing where it feels like your throat goes to your stomach. I couldn't believe it. It was so unreal. Someone left staff because of what I said. That's amazing. Morning Beach Calmer. No earbuds. Trying not to disturb people. Don't give a shit, really. And I just read it out loud. So now everybody knows you don't give a shit. You know what you say? Sorry for partying. Sorry for partying, man. Yeah. That commenter. Yeah. I mean, good Lord. How long is this video? And that's like that's 6 minutes it took me to read that.
Now I want to talk a little bit about virtual friends, because I have some experience with this.
Okay. I may be, yeah, I'm going to let myself say what I'm going to say. And then, because I might already be thinking what I was, yeah.
Just because I've never seen your face doesn't mean I don't have an emotional connection to you, obviously. Because I got emotional reading that. I played, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you know that my ex-wife is on the spectrum. And after a short while of us being married, it was very obvious that we couldn't go out and socialize with people. Prior to that, I played video games, but not much. And
You got much time to play video games, trying to make a living, and then joining Scientology. And I had
a friend in high school who started playing World of Warcraft, and I never saw him again. So I was like, not really interested in online MMOs. However, and the genres were never really my thing. High fantasy, orcs and goblins and elves and stuff. I mean, there's very few franchises that I'm interested in that way. But there was a post-apocalyptic game that was coming out, and I was doing some light programming.
Any Mad Max fans?
And modifications for a game called Fallout 3 in a community online. And my handle was Crow Bennett. I made that up from a character in Fallout 3 that I liked. I took his first name, and then I was watching the series Heroes at the time, which the first season was amazing. And I really related to the character Noah Bennett. Probably because he was the guy that kept everyone in check, all the superheroes. It kind of reminded me of Scientology. He had to he was a firefighter. He had to put out fires and make sure no one uh, got out of.
How can I not like high fantasy? Okay, I will tell you how I cannot like high fantasy. Right after this message. I like high fantasy on film. I like Lord of the Rings. I like the movie Legend. I loved that when I was a kid. That was really my first introduction into high fantasy. But it's just on so many levels in games, it's been overdone. It's overdone. Everyone does a high fantasy RPG. Orcs, ogres, trolls, imps. Same bestiary. Bestiary is like a grimoire book that has all the possible creatures you could encounter. And I to get nerdy a little bit, like I would nerd out on bestiaries. I would look at different level monsters and be like, okay, I can kill this thing for that, and I could probably kill this thing at this level, and because this thing's weak to that, and I have a mage that can do this. I've played my fair share of high fantasy, but it's overdone. It's just been beaten like a dead horse, and that's why. There's your answer. Okay. I understand. Uh,
Of the facility.
did I hurt your brain, Selma?
And so I put those two together, Crow Bennett. I signed up for this game, Fallen Earth, in the early stages, got into the closed beta, played through the open beta, and I played solo by myself. I joined a clan called Drifters, and it was just a very relaxed, casual clan. You didn't have to participate in anything, which is what I liked. But as I got towards the end of the game, there was a large organization that was controlling resources that people needed to build vehicles and weapons and.
What mute button? What are y'all talking about? Y'all can hear me. You can't hear the video? There's no technical difficulties here. Maybe technical difficulties. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna continue because I see all my levels. That's audio engineer PTSD there. You working live broadcast stuff? Oh yeah, man. Shit. You don't want dead air.
Armor and all this stuff. And I mean large areas that were like safety's off. You walk in there and you can get shot, and dangerous territory. And
Thanks. I mean I figured
I
that.
actually started testing out some of my uh, doubt in Scientology in that game. I wanted to test organizational theories, certain policies, fair game, uh, on this giant organization that was like hoarding the resources. And basically, they were a very tyrannical organization. They killed everybody that was not part of their organization.
I'm talking about a video game, not real life.
Everybody, anyone who didn't have a tattoo, essentially, of their organization, was killed.
Oh, what the fuck did I just do? I was trying to type in the chat. Okay. Look at that. Process. End. All right. Virtual friends. Let's do this again. All right. Not the whole thing, obviously. And did I mute the source? No, I didn't. This.
Insightful.
All right. Back to here.
Crow Bennett was making all of this titanium, or getting all this titanium,
We're about
They're
right here.
scavenging the way that I did. And within a week,
Oh,
I was selling the video game nerd stuff, but I started manufacturing this
here we
organization
go.
by sneaking into a place called Park City at night, and I had a very high scavenging skill, and I would buff it up super high, and I would pull
You know why that happened? Is because I wanted to type hello to witness. Hi, witness. I could have just said hi, witness, instead of all of that.
titanium out of the ground, which was a very rare resource.
Hey, I'm here all week. Try the
And I
video.
started manufacturing massive quantities, mass production of the top grade, top tier armor in the game. I know
Martha's
you guys
back.
might
Welcome
not
back.
be interested in this video game nerd stuff, but
You may be wondering, okay, how the hell am I going from that comment into video games? Well, you know, this is, I guess, a deep dive. I hate that word. Well, I don't hate the word. It's just like, you know, I don't. I'm a hipster, I guess. It's like when something becomes the buzzword, it's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. It's lost its luster.
I promise it'll come full circle. Um, I got into this organization through the economy. I was selling the sets of armor, and they didn't know where it was coming from because all of the armor like that was produced by this organization. There was no one else that could produce it because uh,
So they had a market. I started mining the stuff in their zones where that's the only place you could get it, and it was a player versus player zone where they kill everybody that enters. And so there's no one that, and they had such tight control, and they were a coercive control gaming group. This was a gaming cult in 2009, 2008. I mean, they were operating long before that, but this was a gaming cult, and because I saw that, I'm like, this is, you know, a really they were bad for the community, um, and they were really limiting the access to a large from limiting access to high value end game resources. So, you know, it was like territorial war. And they had a scorched earth policy, or AKA fair game. I mean, they would stalk people in game. They would do weird shit to people in real life. Follow them on Facebook or MySpace and get information on them and collect information, stuff like that. Uh, Later, after I left, I was doxxed, which, you know, and my bank account was hacked and all sorts of stuff. But I saw this group of players as a cult, and I'm like, well, I know how to get into one of those.
they didn't have access to the titanium. And even the guys in the organization couldn't produce.
Yeah, witness. It's called Fist of the Empire, and they're still around, and so is Exile, which is my gaming cult that came out of this whole experience. Um, and cult in the ways and means of it has a culture, which was way different than the one that I'm talking about here. Uh, and Yes, gaming cults for real. They exist. Yeah.
The amount that I was producing.
Well, Amy, here's the thing that I say in our gaming culture was that and a friend of mine and I talked about this. One of the other main guys, uh, that we don't take ourselves seriously. We take the game seriously. Um, so in that way, it's like essentially you're role playing. It's an online MMORPG is a massively multiplayer online role playing game. So you can't take yourself too seriously. But if you want to like get the best gear and be in good like tight groups, um, it can be very beneficial to adopt some kind of a system that's you know it doesn't have to be military. It can be depends on your goals. But if you want to have resources that are in player versus player areas, then you need to have some kind of military culture or people willing to act as a military cultural um, unit group to go in and clear the area so that the gatherers or crafters can have access to that sort of stuff.
And within a week, their entire
Witness, yes. Fist of the Empire, I would say, was a destructive, coercive gaming cult. Yes. Um, there's. Hmm. I'll just say this: there were people who were asked to sit at their computer instead of watch their kids, and that resulted in uh, all the way up to fatality. It's absolutely horrific. Okay, and you know, and they continued on. It's like it was like Scientology. You can't abandon your post. So that's why I say that's a gaming. That was a bad gaming culture. I saw it early on in the game, and I wanted to kill it with fire.
organization had been outfitted because they bought all of the sets of armor I created from me. Um, they found out uh, they increased their patrols because they knew that there was only one place to get titanium. They didn't know all of the places, and they also didn't know how to buff their scavenging the way that I did. Um, so I was killed many, many times, and I just would change my schedule, change the route, and eventually I had made enough money selling armor to just pay rent. I was like, look, I will pay you 2 million chips a week. Just leave me alone. Stop killing me. They passed it through their leadership, and that was okay. Uh, then I was asked to join because
It gets way more interesting because on on my channel, on my Crow Bennett channel, the first season of the Fallen Earth Exile podcast, William Sims Bainbridge played this game for 7 years and was in exile. The clan that, see, I joined Fist of the Empire to see the inner workings of it. And, uh, it was very slow, and there was the entire server was against Fist of the Empire for good reasons. Every clan on the server had allied against them to take their territory and failed time and time again, the entire server. Because other individual clans that thought they were real big and tough could not stand up against Fist of the Empire. And it wasn't because anyone was hacking, it was because the game was imbalanced and you got a bunch of meta nerds writing down builds, and they figured out how to get extra AP and all this stuff, which are ability points. And so they were walking around basically twice the level in skills of everyone else. So one guy that has a Fist of the Empire under his head is about equivalent to 2 to 7, all the way up to 7 people. We have a guy that killed who later came to exile because he was like, foe is fucked. And he could kill 7 people by himself, and not scrubs either. Like, he killed all of the best PvPers, 1v7, in their hometown, in their home little area. It was absolutely nuts. This is nerd meta stuff, but yeah. The sociologist who penetrated and infiltrated the process church back in the 70s, William Sims Bainbridge, played Fallen Earth and wrote about it in Springer Publication, which is a publisher that does higher education books for college. He wrote about this game in the book, or a section of a book in some sociology class. It's got 2 chapters. It's called Convergence and Divergence in Digital Simulated Worlds. So he got his PhD in sociology at Harvard in 75. Published his second most popular book entitled Satan's Power, which describes several years in which Bainbridge infiltrated and observed the process church, a religious cult whose founders had been members of Scientology. All right, Bainbridge has written all these books, and then in addition, he's written those awards and all this stuff. I go over that document that he gave me through a friend of mine in game, in the Fallen Earth podcast. It's very fucking interesting. He's a very intelligent feller, and I'm gonna drop the link here for that, because that's something that's just podcastable. And I'll drop the playlist link. But yeah, as an aside for later or whatever, here is that. He talks about nightmare intellectuals. That's a great fuck. It's a great thing. Process Church is still active. I had no idea. Selma, Marcus, is Fallen Earth pay to win? I mean, skill is very important also, but can you buy extras? Fallen Earth is not pay to win. It's all cosmetic, and the shop didn't come in till later. It's all quality of life items and cosmetic, but you can't buy them anymore because it's free to play. And it was bought by Little Orbit and is maintained by Little Orbit, and all of the it's free to play, but you cannot. They're not accepting any money for items because the store, they don't want to set up. They don't want to set up the store. I don't know why the game is even still running. For all I know, it's a damn social experiment.
The logistical division wanted to know how in the hell this guy, Crow Bennett, was making all of this titanium, or getting all this titanium. And by this point, I had a system of waypoints that I would go to. And by the time I would cycle through, all of the nodes that I'd picked would be respawned. And I would just do this over and over and over until I had a stack of titanium, about 50, 60, which was a lot back then. So once they kind of caught on that I was like making a lot of money off of them, like the 2 million chips I gave them every week was just a small fraction of what I actually made on the market. And the logistics guys knew that, so they got with the.
They reported me. This is snitch culture, coercive, punishment, high ethics punishment, high whatever. So like snitching is rewarded. And so because I was making so much money, they're like, hey, he's making way more money than any of us, and we can't kill him.
Leadership and recruited me. So I didn't have to pay my $2 million a week anymore. Well, I still did not like the organization. I got into the organization. It was very abusive from the top level leadership, because it was organized like the World War II style army hierarchy. So you had these different divisions and military sub-commands, and it was a very meticulously run organization online. And the leader of the military sub-command was not like that at all, which is probably why he's
Yeah, the gamer KRs were they called them AARs, even though like that's not really what it would be in the military. They're just like, it would be a way for the leadership to say, if you see anything going on, just write an AAR and we'll review it.
spoke about having trouble getting a sub-command because he had trouble following orders the way that they wanted him to.
Got a question. Martha Simons. Not Simmons. Where were the game creators located? Were the creators the cult leadership? That's a good question. Fair question. All right. The company was called Icarus Studios, and it was a small development team. Let's search so we can save time. Icarus, formerly Reloaded Productions, formerly Icarus Studios. Okay, there's seven. All right, here we go. Development. The game was released on September 22nd, 2009, with pre-orders from Direct to Drive, Steam, and official website. Early access September 9th, 2009. I was in the alpha, I was in the closed beta, and I was in the open beta, so I was in all of this. On March 10th, 2010, Icarus Studios announced the beta release. Blah, 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 blah. Lee Hammock was leaving Fallen Earth. Now, Lee Hammock was the guy who wrote all of this stuff. He wrote all of the game, and he designed it. So he's worked on Neo Exodus, House Divided by Louis Porter. He's done the Halo graphic novel and the Dawning Star campaign setting by Blue Devil Games. And I thought he wrote for Marvel, but I don't see any credit there for that. Yeah, I don't know if they were cult leadership. But let's see if the original trailer is still up, because you can see the whole dev team. No, I don't think it is. Oh, yes, it is. The meeting.
Rated
Thanks,
M
Joe
for
Wilson.
mature.
It's Joe Wilson's channel. I don't know who that is, but he uploaded the original. Here we go. Fallen Earth marketing meeting. That's Lee Hammock.
It's gonna move units! No magic for you!
What do you people think you're doing?
Yeah, we're just working on a new extreme fallen earth spot. Woo! Yeah.
No. You guys have got it all wrong. Especially you guys. You guys have got it way wrong. It's not just about kicking people in the balls or shooting people in the head or horrible mutations or stabbing people with swords and stuff. Fallen Earth is about crafting almost everything you own, making your own clothes and growing your food supplies and making tools and mining and training creatures, making alliances, helping everybody work together. You know, rebuilding civilization from the ground up, that sort of stuff. It's a happy game about rebirth and survival and the apocalypse. All right then. F that. Let's go own some noobs.
Oh, Lord. Let's rebuild society. No, fuck that. Let's go own some noobs. Thanks, Joe Wilson. His comments are turned off. Otherwise, I'd say thanks. All right. So, yeah, Icarus Studios. I don't think they were in a cult. Lee Hammock would definitely be privy to well, I don't know. Lee Hammock, he noticed the community was being affected by a Fist of the Empire, and he even referred to the community of Fist of the Empire. And after it Fist of the Empire collapsed and went to another game, and we're getting to the end of this now because I'm going to come full circle about virtual friends and that comment that I read, that long 6 minutes, it took me 6 minutes to read. This person wrote all this stuff and shared a lot of wisdom. Very well thought out comment. And, you know, those things, those are so, they're not rare. They're just rare whenever you are like trying to get sensational stuff, or just trying to get in the algorithm and like bust out, be busting all the time. No depth. You can get a lot of comments, but what are those comments? I agree. Oh, this is bad. Oh no, I can't believe they did this. Oh, this is shocking. Those comments are common. So I guess that Sophia is right. It is kind of rare. Martha Simons, he went to school at University at Georgia, taught game design at University of Washington. Who is that? Are you talking about William Sims Bainbridge or Lee Hammock?
So the rest of the entire server hated this guild, and so did I, but I was a part of it so that I could manufacture parts.
I'm having corporate PTSD right now. Why corporate PTSD? Because what's interesting is this whole game was built off a game engine that was designed to teach people customer service rep. It was a customer service rep training program. They turned it into an MMO. No apology, Selma. You do what you got to do. Another thing that we say in Exile is RL comes first. That means real life comes first. So you do what you got to do. There ain't no need to apologize. You got a life, and you do it. You live it. You may want to be hanging out and stick around. That's cool, but guess what? It'll still be here when you get back. I sound like it'll still be here when you get back. Lee Hammock was he went to school University of Georgia and taught game design at University of Washington. Did not know that.
Parts and sell my goods. It wasn't.
Oh my God, witness! I feel your pain. I did GSA Schedule 70 IT contracting. I feel your pain, brother. I'm here. My heart is with you. and so are my. I mean, my eyes aren't like bleeding from the. I used to feel like my eyes were gonna bleed when I was talking to end users.
Very long before I
Bye, Selma.
was pulled into a CTA, which is a call to arms. And if you were in this guild and you were level 45 and there was a CTA, you dropped everything you were doing and joined up with First Platoon and went and fought. So there's a video out there. If you YouTube, Fist of the Empire Strikes Back, volume part 1. I might link it in the description.
So, Fist of the Empire Strikes Back Part 1, is that what I said? Yeah. Fist of the Empire Strikes Back Part 1. Well, Fallen Earth, probably. Fallen Earth. And then, yeah, that's in the podcast as well. Fist of the Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. So this video can't play any of that music. But this was the PvP. This was the PvP zone. This was the game, and this is what it looked like. And there was tons of abilities and whatnot. But the Fist of the Empire, this was a gamer cult. And what was left of the 7th MSC joined exile. We'll get to the point of this video very soon, I think.
And that was my first real fight I recorded.
Later, Dawn.
I did very poorly. I died. My Latvian friend Ganji reses me in the video. I wasn't very much good at PvP, player versus player. But what I'm getting at here is that this was the beginning of a bunch of online friendships, virtual friendships. The beginning. And we were all sort of indoctrinated into this culture, this sort of military gaming culture, that literally, I could go into a lot of detail about how I manipulated this group, and maybe I will sometime.
So what I did is just applied Scientology. You know, this was 2009 to 2010. Exile was founded in February of 2010. If I'm remembering that correctly, let me make sure. Nikorasu's here. He's the one who helped set this up. Exile, FYI, established 2010. Yeah. So,
It would be cool for me to go.
Oh yeah, I was applying Scientology. I had my own personal integrity in, and I wanted to do the server a favor, which was get rid of the toxic behavior of these players. And I got into the group. I was able to get into the group by using, quote, TR3, which was and also TR0, willingness to be there, confront this thing, this big ugly culture, and then get into the culture and see the culture, and then go up into the culture by means of producing something. So I produced a big map. I produced a bunch of waypoints that in a system of waypoints so that the small number of people who were fighting in the PvP zones that were always outnumbered had places to go in between. And I encouraged people to constantly be moving and to use the rally point system. and because a big PvP zone. They used it. It worked. It was a successful action. Thinking Scientologically, I'm like, okay, well, if that was a successful action, you continue the successful action and then add to it. So, in a matter of a couple of months, Star Trek Online came out, and the leadership came down and said, yo, anyone who's not playing Star Trek Online is going to get bussed down to PR status, you know? Which, if you're making a comparison in culture, there's no comparison really, but it would be, you're the lowest of the low. It's not like RPF or anything, but like you're the lowest of the low. And a lot of people were like, okay, signing into Star Trek Online right now. I already pre-ordered, already have everything ready to go. But then there were players who were like, no, I want to play Fallen Earth. So I was trying to, and so that meant that the people who were willing to fight and to play the game was going to be at least cut in half. And that meant that it was ultimate death for Fist of the Empire, which I shouldn't care about, right? That's what I wanted. But the thing is there were good players in there, just like there's good people in Scientology. And so I tried to broker a peace treaty with the Council of Clans, it was just me, and I went into their main town, and there wasn't a whole lot that could be done. And the leadership from Fist of the Empire came down and said, okay, this chapter's decommissioned. You can still play, but you're bussed down to PR, and we're not providing any support at all whatsoever. You're on your own. And they froze all the assets that everyone had worked so hard to get, and they kicked me out of the guild because I went to go try to negotiate some treaty with the rest of the server so that we wouldn't get our faces murdered constantly for being the oppressive group that we were.
Actually in the game and possibly stream and show, what events happened where and all that.
I did do that in the podcast series. So that's season 2, where you can actually, there's like commentary and talk about the fights and what caused them and the conflicts, how they started and how they ended, and etc.
Would be something that I'd like to do. But the moral of the story is the entity, that clan, that guild, after I joined it, about 2-3 months later, it dissolved, and everyone that was in it followed me. Now, there were people who didn't. There was an ultimatum whenever the organization dissolved in Fallen Earth. You could go play Star Trek Online with Fist of the Empire and keep your citizenship of the guild, or you could stay in Fallen Earth and be reduced to a provisional member. And that essentially means that you're fired, in Fist of the Empire speak back then. So I left the guild, and created a guild called Exile, and I started getting messages from people, and one by one,
Leah Remini's
all of
live
the
right
top
now.
level PvPers that were in the game started joining my clan, and
She
it was
uploaded.
within an hour I had almost all of the top level players in my clan, and all of a sudden I'm the leader of this extremely powerful, knowledgeable, dedicated, disciplined group of individuals. And they were behind me 100%. I hijacked this thing. I went from being a solo player, nobody, never really PvP'd, but just making craft and making armor, to leading this giant group. And it was pretty overwhelming, but fun, because my wife and I never socialized. We never went out. So this was a way for me to make those social connections. This is what I'm talking about, virtual friends. Now, over the years, I've actually met some of these people in real life. And I still am in contact with people all over the world, because this Fist of the Empire Guild was uh, recruited internationally. So, and to this day, we still have a VoIP server where all of these people um, that joined me after Fist of the Empire uh, hang out. Um, they were there for me through my divorce. They were there for me through all my shit, and likewise, there's been people who've gone through things. We've been there for them as well. Um, and these are people that I have developed very strong feelings for, and they're just very far away. And some of them I've never met. Uh, my friend in Latvia, uh, and my friend in Germany, uh, and my friend in Greece. You know, all these guys, I feel like if they needed anything, if I was able to do it, I would do it. You know, they're really true friends. Uh, the fact that I've never seen their bodies and their face doesn't change the fact that there is a connection there, because of what we've all been through in game and in real life. And so this comment really, it really moved me a lot, and it made me feel a lot better, because you're right. You know, I mean, maybe that's part of. You know, I really want to. And this is a very lofty goal. I mean, Steve Hassan is the only ex-cult member that I know of that has a PhD, and he was a Mooney. If any one of you know of a ex-Scientologist who has a PhD in psychology or psychiatry, I'd love to know about him. And if not, I know it's a lofty goal, but I would love to be that. I would love to be able to speak on a topic such as Scientology in a way that Steve Hassan talks about Moonies. I mean, he does interventions and stuff to help people get out of cults, but his real expertise would be in the Moonies, because he was a Mooney. It's not to say that he can't help ex-Scientologists or Mormons or anybody, even Christian cults, because his knowledge is very, very extensive. The bite model is very, very accurate, in my opinion, having been in a cult. But doubt is natural, and doubt in the church is not okay. And so,
Yeah, Martha, I was gonna bring that up, um, because uh, Chris and I have been in touch over the years. You know, he was one of the first people I reached out. Oh, he was one of the other ones that was publishing it around the time that I did my video. And yeah, we've stayed in contact throughout the years. I mean, and having done the data series, like there was there's stuff in there that we can take back, I'm sure. But you know, clearing words, that's not study tech. That's just uh understanding a word, opening up a dictionary so that you can understand what the word means. And you don't need to write it every definition in a sentence 10 times to get a full conceptual understanding. You don't have to. You can. And even that, even though it's a Scientology thing, like, write every, if you go look up the word "the," and you got 50 freaking definitions, and you got to write 10 sentences with every possible example of "the." It's what they were protesting about at the ASHO building. They're like, "What about the Key to Life course? What about the briefing course? What's more important?" Like Sen pointed out, don't give a shit about the Key to Life course. Don't give a shit about the briefing course. What about the people that are in there? What about the disconnection and the fair game and the gaslighting and the sleep debt, food debt, overwork? What about the infirm that you're not getting medical care for? That's what we care about, not the fucking briefing course or the Key to Life.
I shouldn't have to apologize for my video the other day, but I will, because um,
Well, that's great. Witness says that on a broadcast yesterday, Poe said he has an interview with Russell Miller, author of Barefaced Messiah. That is interesting. Martha Simons is subscribed to John D. Lane. I don't know how to say that.
you guys are my friends, and there were a couple of responses that I realized, wow, I kind of just disconnected from my friends with that video, and I just had a moment, you know. Um, Talking about this stuff over the years has not been super easy, and there's people very close to me that I know that have never spoken about it publicly, and there's a reason for that. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially to start. There's a lot of there's a lot of fear involved with it. So, but the amount of truth in this comment is it's amazing. This is why I love the interwebs. This is why I love internet communities. This is why I love connecting with people online. There's no matter what anybody says, I've got older parents that kind of don't understand what's going on. Like, I've got my headphones on, I'm talking to a guy in Greece and Germany and Latvia and the United States and the West Coast and Canada and South Africa and Australia. At one point, we even had a Japanese member. Poor guy. The only thing he could say was "Discovery."
Discovery.
Discovery. Discovery meant he found an enemy. But no, that connection is very real, and this just reminded me of that. Like I said before, especially in the beginning, locally, even my own family thought that I was sort of circumventing my responsibility as a father during the divorce and stuff, and thought that I was trying to avoid the or bring attention to something else other than the accusations that my ex-wife had alleged against me.
Yeah. So about that, my ex-wife alleged that I beaten, or her attorney alleged that I beaten, raped her, and beaten, raped my kids, and was a drug dealer and didn't have a job, and the list goes on. But it got, as soon as you say that word, the SA involved with children, then the state has to get involved, and I had to pay for a state evaluation and all this stuff. Um, I didn't talk a lot about this at that time. Seemed a lot like what fair game would be, but the perfect fair game is one where there's no proof, and I have no proof that she did this on purpose. But after the hurricane, she did say that she didn't know anything about it, about those accusations. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Glitter asks, did I ever find out why she did that? No, no, no.
So,
But I did ask her if she knew that it happened, and she said no. This was during the hurricane 2020, and out of necessity and emergency, we were riding in a car together to go assess the damage, and I brought it up. And I said, did you know that your attorney accused me of this, this, this? No, I didn't know that. Okay. Pretty quiet drive after that.
you guys were here for me during that time. And
And y'all were here for me even when my family wasn't. Even when my friends and associates and coworkers, I mean, that shit ruined my career. I worked in legal stuff. I did social media marketing for lawyers. I built websites for lawyers. Now, you're not supposed to talk about people's legal matters in a business like that, but small town, Lake Charles, they word gets around, people gossip, and my maintenance contracts ran out, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't need you."
needed that. And that's what friends are for, right?
Yeah, glitter butterfly, glitter flutterby. It just seems such an awful thing to do to someone. It is. Thanks for answering, and I'm sorry that happened. No problem. And you don't need to be sorry. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Um, but I'll tell you, it felt like a Mack truck. Like it went from 0 to ridiculous. What is it? uh, Spaceballs. Ludicrous speed. It went from 0 to ludicrous speed overnight. You know. Uh, that's when I started recording all of my phone calls because, like, what choice do I have at that point? You're going to say that I did something or say that I said something. Uh, they did things like, because, like I said, in legal, I couldn't work, but I went into pawn shop consulting and did social media marketing for pawn shops. And I scheduled posts for what they were selling. One of the pawn shops sold a lot of guns. And they pulled that stuff off the Facebook and brought it to court and said, he's threatening to kill his children and his wife. He's a violent, blah, 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 blah. 2 years. My kids lived in squalor when I offered her the trailer to live in. She said, no, because that won't go along with the damn story, right? You won't go back to your abuser. But the kids suffered. Now, my therapist told me not to talk about childhood trauma. I'm not talking about mine. And that's the ones that she don't want me to talk about. But you want to talk about early childhood trauma, a 1-year-old sitting on a concrete floor, no stimulation, no bathroom, no water, no running water, no kitchen, no AC, no heat. 2 years. It was the most hellish point in my life. Hellish.
A friend in need is a friend indeed. So,
Well, yeah, I know some some Arabies in Lake Charles. What about the Arabies?
that's what I got to say about that. Virtual friends. They're every bit as real They just are not physically present in your life, but they can be the best friends in your life. Um, the the military sub-command leader, he's gonna hate me for saying this. I won't say his name, but the military sub-command leader for Fist of the Empire.
Look, I'm not trying to slander my ex-wife. Amy Jean says, "How could anyone put a child in that situation on purpose? I'm so sorry." I'm not entirely convinced that she's even aware that that was a bad situation. She was afraid of fair game. She was afraid of me talking about Scientology. She gently urged me to go and see what the ComEv was all about. She had spoken to Dominic on multiple occasions, the executive director of Baton Rouge. Well, some of the Arabys in Lake Charles are friends of yours in Florida. How about that? We probably know some of them. We got mutual friends. Yeah, I'm not trying to slander her. This is not a slanderous thing. This is just what I was given, and she refuses to talk about it. So all I can do is, and she refuses to have anything to do with me. She responded to a text this morning because my daughter is sick, and I got a notice from school that she is not at school, and she responded to that. But normally she doesn't even respond to texts about the kids. I'm allowed to text her about the kids, and I don't text her about anything but the kids, but she doesn't respond. And that was the case throughout the whole thing. I followed every damn order, and she flagrantly threw the orders and the judgments in the trash. And it's still kind of that way. She sued me last year, uh, and got $11. So the court's kind of like, hey, what's wrong with you? We don't know. I mean, she was married to a Scientologist, which was me, and was completely okay with that. And believe me, I was a Scientologist. I practiced independent Scientology from 2005 to 2013. I was a believer. I mean, in the last couple of years, the only thing I was doing was my ethics doubt condition, but I was still dedicated to doing that. And none of the, you would think that someone like, would find some of the behaviors of a Scientologist pretty disturbing, but no, it didn't. It was perfect for her.
Back in
It was when I started to leave and deprogram that it became a problem.
2009, before the organization was dissolved, he kind of faded away for a while. But then he came back and became part of our organization. And whenever I was at the
Good question, Amy Jean. No slander intended. Wasn't the court aware that she had the kids living there? Yes, because it was a state apportioned safe house. But the only thing that you really need to make a safe house is a connecting roof. And so this was a shop that someone owned who was part of the domestic violence helper group or whatever. We put your name on a list and you can register your house as a safe house if you have adequate amenities and facilities. Well, this was a garage attached to a house via a roof, and that was an oversight on the inspection because clearly they didn't go inside. They just looked to see if it was connected. And there was a bathroom in a laundry room all in one, but they had to go across the property. Okay. So where they were living was squalor, and it was state apportioned, and the woman that was hosting them got paid 300 some odd dollars a month.
Last stages of my divorce. He helped me out financially.
It takes a lifetime, Martha Simons, a lifetime. And I've been in more than one, you know. I've been in a family cult, been in a gamer cult, I've been in a religious cult, a couple of them, you know. Catechism is very culty in the bad way, coercive cult. Like it's culture. The culture of Catholicism is not all bad, but there are parts of it that are terrible. The culture of the family is not all bad, but there are parts that are really bad. The culture of Scientology is, well, you know, but in the gaming culture, I was surprised, you know, the thing that I said earlier about, you know, up to a fatality, like this was due to negligence, and it's very sad, and I don't like talking about it much because it's a guy I know, and he's in Florida, and he's a really nice guy. And it's just fucking tragic that happened. Um, and it was an accident, but you know, when you talk about a fucking wake up call, man, like RL comes first. Jeez.
And if it wasn't for him, I would not have the custody arrangements that I do now. So I feel like a fool for discounting the value, like the true value.
So, yeah, the person that I'm speaking about was the MSC leader for the 7th MSC of Fallen Earth for Fist of the Empire. And he straight up wrote a check. He's a rich dude. He wrote a check to my attorney, but it was mostly to get me back on post in game. It was like, okay, get your divorce out of the way. How much? It was like almost $4,000. And he sent the check directly to my attorney.
Of
I had a benefactor.
Of what I have here with you guys, because it's incredibly valuable, yeah, every one of you. So thanks, and I'll talk to you later. Today is Stella's 6th birthday. She was born on Christmas, so we do it early. But she's 6. My daughter is 6 now. It's crazy.
She 11 now.
So we're about to do the party, and I'm gonna go visit my friend later, my best friend that I grew up with, and spend the night over there. And tomorrow it's really quiet out there. I like to go out there to study. Very, very, it's basically in the sovereign Indian territory. There's just nothing. It's very quiet. So I'm going to go out there, hang out with my buddy, study. My exam is on Monday. So wish me luck on all that. You'll probably hear from me soon.
Yeah, I did a video after that. I did horrible on my exam. So back to the comment. We'll play that again because, and it's about 6 minutes. But the comment, I came full circle around because that one comment is just a piece of HTML text on a website called YouTube. And that person was able to connect with me and make all these, and say all these wonderful things, speak all this truth. There's an immense power, you know? I mean, even right now, like, boom. Hold on. No. Kaboom. Like, there's immense power just in me posting that link because anyone can come in here and comment. I can pipe you in. That's tremendous power. The yesterday we did the catch up on on all of the stuff that I haven't been able to watch. There's so many people leaving, and there's so many stories that, I mean, I might as well just watch them. I hear people screaming. I don't know if that's Cynthia or what, but she's probably yelling at Lulu. Okay. So here's the comment that started it, the whole discussion. I'm talking about virtual friends, all of you. You know, I haven't met you, but yeah, Martha. Amazing learning year for her because at 12 they know everything. You know, people keep saying that. I don't know. We'll see.
What's up, guys? I wanted to read a comment that Nietzsche Dancing wrote. It's very insightful. And she's been a subscriber for many years. Or he, I'm not sure. I've always associated with a female because there's a really interesting female photo for her profile picture, for the profile picture. So it may be a man or a woman, I don't know. A very insightful comment. And so here it goes. It says, this may be a long comment. Hope I don't cross your eyes in the process. First, I'm very happy to hear that the doctor was able to figure out what the problem was so you can do the proper steps to get better. Even if your nerves will never get better, you know what you need to do to relieve the pain and hopefully learn how to avoid overworking them to prevent pain starting.
Still an issue.
As for you going back and forth on this topic, what you're going through is 100% normal. Whether you go on with your plans or not, change your mind a million times. It's okay to do that.
Totally did. Didn't follow through with the whole
subscribers
PhD
are not just
thing.
here for your content. We're here for you. I believe I can speak for everyone here when saying you're just a wonderful man and a delight to listen to. We may or may not have been in your shoes with the Church of Scientology, but we can still connect our own experiences to yours.
Absolutely.
Doubts are perfectly natural reaction to what you've been through. Doubts are a natural reaction as a human being in anything we do in life. Doubt gives us the personal power to look at ourselves critically. If you never doubted yourself in any situation, you as a person would not actually grow mentally or emotionally. People who don't ever doubt are those who lie to themselves and create a false world around them. Sound familiar? Isn't that what everyone does in that church? Doubt in that church is a high crime, isn't it?
Yeah, certainty is the preferred thing. You're certain about everything. Certainty, certainty, certainty. It's a confidence game. It's why someone who leaves Scientology can go confidently into a sales position or confidently into a tech position or whatever without even the necessary skills or requirements. Fake it till you make it. Be OT about it. Whatever. We need to take all that shit back because there's roots in truth there. But they've been corrupted and poisoned by L. Ron Hubbard.
Doubt gives you control of your own life.
I'm sorry, if there's any indies watching, they're corrupted by David Miscavige. I don't want to go out gradient on you.
Never think for a moment something is wrong with you if you start doubting yourself. The fact that you have doubts means you are on the right path that is best for you. Not only best, but healthy as well. Now, I'm not saying you give in to those doubts each and every time. Remember, I said that doubts make you grow as a person. Looking at doubts honestly and critically, you can then decide whether your doubt was valid.
I gotta read this, Bach Buddy. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. Mark Twain. Thank you for sharing some literary goodness. I love that. You had that hanging on, Bach Buddy had that hanging on his fridge with his 2 teenage boys. Oh, that's killer, man.
Maybe something wasn't right in that situation and your doubt was actually a warning. Or maybe your doubt as you thought it was going to be and you became a stronger person because you pushed through it. Perhaps even more enlightened by the whole experience. I became a subscriber a long time ago, not because you strictly spoke about your experience in Scientology, though that was the reason I clicked on that first video. But I felt a connection to you. I saw the past, the information, and saw you as a person. A fellow human being whose life didn't stop because your life changed. Your bravery has helped me become brave in some things in my own life. You made me realize that even though the world wasn't what you thought it was, life can and will go on. There are unspoken things that you give the world through your videos, gifts to those seeking a like-minded person. I look forward each and every time I see you upload a new video. It doesn't matter if it's on the topic of Scientology or not. I get so happy just to see your face and hear your voice. You could talk about a run-in with a coupon lady at the supermarket who kept everyone waiting because she was fighting over 50 cents, and I would love every second of that video. Especially since I can sit there and say, yeah, me too. That happened to me once. Maybe I'll write about it in the comments to share my story.
And what I find is that, people that make comments like this, yeah, it's just life, right? Like everyone experiences some kind of shit, and you see someone else talk about it, it might like make you think differently about something. It's just perspectives, right? So, and some people say perspective is everything. I think perspective is really important to consider. There's always someone that's got it worse. And being thankful for what you got is super important. Lisa Hurley, Yayla Russell, knows that very well. Be thankful for what you got. You may not have a big fine car. You may not have gangsta white wall tires. You may not have a car at all. But remember, you can still stand tall. Be thankful for what you got.
The important thing is connection and you being yourself. That's why I wrote that other comment about you talking about possibly changing the
Bach Buddy, you needed a reminder that much, huh?
style of your content to make it more YouTube friendly. I was honest when I said for you to do what felt comfortable for you. Don't do things trying to make others happy or what you think others are expecting from you. You must do things that make you happy. In the style and a
See, I was taught not to do that. Don't do things that make you happy. Do things that make other people happy.
way that best shares you with us or the world. This is your life, and we the subscribers are honored to know you, see you, and allowed to connect with you. You are truly a gift and a pleasure. I think I will stop there before I get really too deep and too long to read. LOL.
there was more for that comment, but the person was like, I probably better stop there.
The song was wonderful and drew the attention of my oldest son, 15, who was in the other room. He quietly walked in and listened. He said, and I will quote it, "Very beautiful, and I know how he feels. I hope I get that good playing the piano. We support you, and you support us. We're more than just subscribers and content creators. We're friends."
And that right there is really the point, like, we're in this together. I didn't necessarily know that in the beginning. I thought I was, kind of on my own. But I learned real quick that there was a whole bunch of people that were here to support trauma victims, domestic violence victims, emotional violence victims, like just people willing to sit down and listen, And I think that's fucking important. More important than any algorithmic calculation, configuration you can do for your channel to make sure that it gets, into the algorithm. Like, the people that need to find your stuff will find it. I think that. Maybe it's stupid. There's a video called "Let's Trade My Talent for Your Life," and it's just a music that we can outro to. Let me find it. I don't think I changed the name. This was part of the creative. Oh, here it is. So this was a video where I am kind of in between the studio and the trailer, trying to avoid conflict, domestic conflict with my stepfather, and was dealing with some depression at the time, and so I just did a video one night and just jammed, and I was taking it out on the guitar. I was taking all of my emotions out on this poor guitar here. End with some music, and some brutal punishment of this poor acoustic guitar. Yeah, I was pissed off, sad, depressed. Just throw the fucking guitar down. Oh, shit. All right, guys and gals and peoples. See you next time. I'll probably do some more of the catching up on the SBTV stuff because I am way the fuck behind. And also, I want to do some take it back stuff. We need to take it back. Take back the stuff that ain't Scientology. It ain't Scientology. It's other miscellaneous knowledge from and needs to be credited properly. LRH didn't credit none of that shit. So we can take it back. Xenu Xenu. Live long and prosper.